My attraction with taxidermy began when I was a very, very young child. I mean, 3-year-old child, and I have a photograph that I carry around with me that I show in my presentation of myself sitting on the front step of my home in Winchester, which I own today, with a pumpkin, a carved-out pumpkin, and a taxidermied barred owl. I collect bits and bobs. I love very old taxidermy. I'm not a collector of new taxidermy. The things that I like are weathered and worn and have a story behind them. And many of the pieces are English. The English were really big in taxidermy, and the fact of the matter is, an English friend of mine told me that the English love animals more than they love humans. So when a favorite dog would die, they would chop off its paw, cap it in silver, and write a little story about it on a silver cap. So some of the pieces that I have involve the ear of a racehorse, the paw of a hunting dog, the leg of a little roe deer, and an otter paw that's used as a snuff box. But without a doubt, my capital piece, my #1 piece, and the greatest piece that I own is a stuffed Manchester Terrier in an oak box. In the 1800s, people started trophy hunting, and they would bring their trophies, the animals that they bagged, to an upholsterer, and they would stuff that animal with cotton and whatever, pillows and whatever they could. So our word stuffed animal today really is an old reference to taxidermy. White Memorial's Nature Museum, I think, is the most beautiful of its kind in Connecticut, and I dare say it is one of the best in the nation. Not that I visited all of them, but it has to be one of the best in the nation just because of its sensitivity and its accuracy. And one of the things that I think makes it very exclusive is the fact that there is a corner in our museum that's dedicated to the art of taxidermy. People walk in the front door of our museum, see a couple of black bears and a beautiful diorama, and they look real. You could almost reach for that, knock that glass out and touch them. It would be almost like being at a zoo. And people are curious as to what the process of taxidermy is. So White Memorial's museum actually shows from the beginning to the end how an animal is mounted. The animals that are in our museum came from a variety of places. Many times they're roadkill, like our beaver display are all roadkill beavers. A mother beaver was killed and its 5 little young were left to die, unfortunately. So just because you see an animal stuffed, it doesn't mean that it came to a cruel end or was bagged for no specific reason whatsoever other than to have a trophy. Yes, that does happen, but it's important for the public to get up and close and personal with wildlife. And obviously, this is a way for us to observe wildlife without touching. You don't necessarily see all the things that we have in our museum out in the wild. So here's an opportunity for you to learn. Taxidermy teaches us. It's as a learning tool. Well, a lot of people come to visit White Memorial every year. About 60,000 people come through the park, and many thousands of people come through our museum and the Conservation Center, and many of them come, of course, from out of town. The beauty of this museum is that it is a 10,000-year walk through our piece of property, through this beautiful 4,000 acres, where you can experience the glacial times and native people, and, of course, the waterfowl, the birds, and the animals that are indigenous to our area. But the thing that separates us from a place that is as exhaustive and as glorious as the American Museum of Natural History is that you can see all of this in a very quick amount of time. And you can come back because the museum is layered. I've been working here 5 years now, and every time I walk into that museum, I swear to God, I see something I've never seen before. So it's a super opportunity to not just come and visit once, but to come back many, many times. And if you have a really keen eye, you're always going to find something new.